you go off and you just it's basically like a soapbox, and you're just there like, oh yeah, you know, opinions and outrage and all that, and it's like, okay, well, where's the punchline? You know, it's and I think that it's a common mistake with a lot of younger comics, you know.
And I'll be completely transparent. I had the worst set that I've ever had that night, and like a fat 0, just like absolute penis in my mouth for the whole entire set. I think that was I whatever. Like maybe it wasn't the crowd, but I don't know. I'm not gonna chalk it up to anything other than like I didn't do well, and I'm just saying that to like. I'm trying to just illustrate that I'm not trying to be a hater.
Yeah.
No,
I get what you're saying. I view it like this. So I'm very vocal with these guys about like the kind of sets that we see at the mic drop, because some of them can be like very inflammatory, very alienating a lot of the times too. I thought, you know, in terms of like having somebody take the soapbox, like I thought it wasn't that big of a deal. You know, I actually thought. I actually thought it was very refreshing. I didn't. Okay. There's the difference between like the joke and then the talking at people. That's one of the. Actually, I think when we just first started, when I started doing comedy, a lot of the tips that I would get is like, don't just talk at people, right? Like you're trying to construct jokes, right? And you're trying to make people laugh, right? So if you get up there and you just do this like the set that comic was doing that night. It comes off as preachy, I guess is the way that's the word they're going at. I personally found it very very refreshing. I thought what's the best way I can put it? Okay, I don't want to bite him, but like Chappelle has a very good take on this where he says comedy is really like they use it a lot. It's cliche. Excuse me. Well, they say comedy's the last bastion of free speech or whatever. I don't know, a little too much in my opinion, right? But one of the things that he does says is that he does say it is a very American form of art, and very true to the art, because it's everybody has a champion, basically, right? So like, you know, you have somebody for. You have somebody for the men, somebody for the women, some black comics, some, you know, gay comics, some Asian, Latino, whatever you want, whatever possible like demographic, there's somebody for it, right? I feel like we don't expand on that as much here in Laredo. So it is kind of, maybe it's not hilarious, but it is refreshing to see comics come in and kind of push like the bounds on whatever it is that they're planning on doing, right? So whenever we hear things like, you know, like that, like her doing her set, it was, to me, it was it opened up a conversation. Like, shit, we're having a conversation about it now. They came up to me after the set, and talked to me about, like, hey, what did you think? Final? Yeah, sure. All right. Like, hey, what did you think? And I was like, well, honestly, dude, like, I really liked it. I'm gonna be straight up with you. I didn't. Whoa, yeah, it's kind of strong. She's like, I didn't. I told her, I was like, I didn't think it was hilarious, but it was good. It was good, especially it was reactive. That's what it was. Yeah, it was reactive because it.
There was a lot of toxic masculinity in the air,
dude. 100%, 100%. And you would be foolish to say otherwise, because a majority of the people on stage, whether it's funny or not, I'm not. That's objectively speaking, though. Yeah. A lot of the jokes are about cocks. A lot of them. Yeah. A lot of them talk about cocks.
But I mean, is just talking about cocks, is that toxic masculinity?
Dude, when you're up there parading shit,
is it look on your face, you're like
general question.
Like, when you're up there fucking parading around like the whole like joke, right? And you're, you know, pantomiming, you know, holding your dick and all that kind of stuff.
Who did that?
That's dude. Are you?
Did I do that? I didn't do
Josh.
Did I do that?
Nah. This is
I've pantomimed a dildo, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
But that's my point, though, is that like everybody, the content. You think about the content. Yeah. If I were to bunch up the three most common what's it called? Jokes. The three most, or like not jokes, premises.
Yeah.
It's gonna be what? Tinder. Oh my God, everybody's got a joke about Tinder, right? 2, dicks. Somebody's got whether
it's dick pics or dicks.
Yeah, 100%. Everybody's got that. What would be the third? Drunks, right? That's kind of universal, right?
Yeah.
But those I think are the ones that you see like the most often, and everybody's got a very applicable like set to that, right? I thought it was refreshing to have somebody go in and not only like try to make jokes or whatever, or get on like a soapbox or stuff, but she made some good fucking points.
She did. She raised a lot of really, really good points. You know, and I wish, she hadn't run the light, because I wanted to hear more of what she had to say. But she did raise a lot of good points in her set that I did really respect. And I do like that she likes to try to push out of those boundaries. I noticed that she likes to go a little more political, which is something that's very refreshing for me, especially here in Laredo and stuff. So I like the directions that the comic was taking. But yeah, it's
Am
just,
I being a hater?
No, I don't think so. I think
I think you
If I'm being a hater, then I'm.
I think it was a little shocking. Some of the strong opinions that were held. It was a little bit much.
I mean,
it was like death to man or something. I was like,
wrong though.
I feel like okay, but like then I don't know. That's my point. Like I'm not saying that they were wrong necessarily. I'm just saying that like.
But you felt alienated as an audience member, as a man.
I will say this, and this is maybe to my detriment. If it's funny, fucking go for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure. That's the number one rule of comedy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nothing's off limits from comedy.
Yeah.
Sure, right? I can. I'll concede to that. Sure, but what I'm saying is that like in
it's
terms,
more like a TED talk is what I'm trying to get at.
yeah.
Okay,
More like I'm gonna say things like if I got up there and I was like racism is wrong,
Hang
and
on.
I'm just waiting for like a.
No.
Yeah.
No,
You know what I mean?
You're watering it down way too much. If
That's
it's
what it. Okay,
if
I'm
you're-
telling you, I'm hating.
I think it's more of like a Jesus. What's with that fucking tie shop, bro?
Get in there.
So if I'm talking with if I'm talking about like content versus delivery, I didn't find anything wrong with the content. Yeah, sure, it was geared towards a certain base.
I'm on the same page as you.
It was geared towards a certain group of people. Nothing wrong with that. The delivery, sure, could use some work. She doesn't go up there prepared to tell jokes like that. I don't think she's not experienced in that regard.
Yeah, it's a lot of the lack of.
But is she
experience
getting there?
on her.
Absolutely. Do I want to see her back? Hell yeah.
I do
right?
too.
Oh,
Just to be clear, I would love to see her do it again, and I think I'm on the same page as you. I'm just being a little bit more critical.
By the way?
No,
it's a different.
It's a different one. Yeah. So just make sure.
Let's post on the
Okay. Yeah.
on
yeah.
AOTB también.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. All right.
Can you handle that while I make this next point?
Yeah,
Or-
sure.
Okay.
Continue.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Send me the
So
link so I can post it too.
it's in the comics chat. I want to say that I'm on the same page as you because I feel like the content of it is content of the material can be whatever the fuck it has to be. The delivery has to be funny, I think. Right? And I will say that I guess I'm hating. I'll qualify myself as a hater on that note and just be like, all right, you know what, come back and do it again and do it. Give me a more polished presentation of it. I guess that's what was off-putting about it. Because like
That's fair.
you know what I mean? Like that being one of the people that has been on the opposite end of the spectrum where people are like, fuck, that was off-putting as fuck. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
For anybody who's just tuning in, and I know like a couple of people had some questions about it. We are talking about a set that happened at the last mic drop. Where the Josh initially posed this as like he felt like it was kind of like alienating or kind of pandering. Is that a good word?
I think
Pandering?
not alienating. I think it was like pandering. I think it was just like I'm gonna say woke shit that is gonna get an applause versus I'm gonna use this. again, I have no issue with the content, more so the presentation of it. I felt like if it was
delivery,
delivered
yeah.
in an actual, like, this is the joke form
Yeah.
or whatever,
Yeah.
I'm fine with it. It just reminded me of more of like a rant of
Yeah.
like yada. It felt like they were projecting a little bit, maybe. I don't know. That was just me, but
I didn't see that at all.
oh, okay. Well,
But
I'm also, maybe I'm just a complete asshole, and I'm gonna.
I don't think
you're.
I don't think you're an asshole. I don't think you're an asshole, and I don't think you're a hater. I just think
You're entitled to your opinion.
yeah, you've got your opinion. That's cool.
That's just my opinion.
I just think also
What I did there.
Cancel.
you know what? It's pretty simple. It wasn't for you.
Yeah.
That's it. It's
You were not
Hey.
the target audience.
Hey, my jokes wasn't for anybody that night.
that's fair. But
Fat bomb, dude.
but yeah, so let's you know what, in the in the history of like of bombs, I just want to talk, like, let's I think this will be a fun topic
I will
to have.
full on
talking
tell
about
the entire
bombs?
Yeah,
joke
yeah.
on
Let's
here.
say what's the first, like, or what bomb sticks with you? Like, what bomb sticks with you? I have one. If you guys want to take some time to think about it,
I already have one. Too.
I already know
Wait, like
mine.
personal bomb or like?
Yeah, like you bombed, and it was such a
Oh,
bomb.
okay,
It stuck with you.
I remember one of the first biggest times that I ever bombed. It wasn't an open mic. It was like a showcase.
Oh, shit.
I must have been
fucking
like
terrifying.
I must have been doing comedy like 6 months at this point. Like I was only like maybe like 3 or 6 months in, and
You were on a showcase. You know?
and I was on the show. And
Not to brag.
It was in Corpus.
No shit.
Of all places, I think I was with you and Franny on that one. I think it was with Aaron or something, and I think it was
Are you
like
talking about the exchange?
no, but that was a fun one.
Yeah, that was. Where were we at?
But I think I want to say it was like Bella Luna. It was a Comics Live at Bella Luna, and I remember I did my jokes. I must have told it. I know I did a Jesus joke or something to a very conservative audience.
Oh no!
They were
Surprisingly,
not,
right?
Yeah, they were not having it. Any of my stuff, like they were not having me, and they were just like, it wasn't even like crickets or silence because people were eating. So it was
Where
just
are you
even
talking
quieter.
about? Where was this at Bella Luna?
Yeah, it was at Bella Luna.
yeah,
We were
Steven
eating. It was
commented on
like
it.
it was so quiet and like it was so bad. I felt so bad that I don't even think I took the picture afterwards with everybody. I just went to my car and cried.
I would have done the fucking same.
And it sucked because they paid me too. So they gave me like a little check. It wasn't a lot of money. But they gave me a check, and I'm there and I'm like, I don't even deserve this. Like I don't want to cash this, but I have to because I'm broke. But I don't deserve this money. Like I was so devastated.
That's how every OnlyFans chick feels. I don't deserve this.
Yeah.
It's okay. So premise joke. I'm funny on a podcast, but not on stage.
Hey. You're just like your favorite comedian, son.
There you go.
I'm kidding. But no, yeah, it always stuck in my mind because I remember in that moment I was thinking, I was like, you know what? I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready, and this is what I get for thinking I was ready when I wasn't, and this is why I bombed. And I never let it go to this day. It was like that's my biggest bomb.
So
like,
that was your takeaway though, right? Like,
Yeah.
So you didn't
like,
have as
I
much prep
wasn't
time.
ready.
I have a good question. What? Okay, so after that bomb, where you were like, "I'm gonna fucking commit suicide," what did you change? That what were you like? Okay, I'm gonna take this shit seriously enough to the point where like I'm gonna make this adjustment. What was different for you from thereafter?
For me, it was a lot of like I started learning to tailor my jokes to my audience, like reading the audience and things like that. It was like, you tell jokes here in Laredo at open mic or whatever, and it's like, yeah, it goes great and it works and everything. And then you try to do those same jokes in a different city where sometimes it's the crowd is not, it's like sometimes they're much older, it's like sometimes they're like whatever, like they don't relate, they can't identify with my jokes, and so I have to start writing jokes that are more relatable. I have to tailor my set to whoever's in the audience, and it made me start like paying more attention to who I was addressing and what I'm saying, and just trying to find a way to make it more relatable, I guess. So I think that was my takeaway from that ball. Just just learning that not every joke works in the same rooms all the time, kind of thing.
I think, and I said this already, but like I think like the bomb that sticks with me the most was this last one, because I was like, this is making me laugh. Hopefully it'll make everybody else laugh, because I didn't have, honestly I'll be fucking transparent, like I didn't have anything, I hadn't dedicated any thought to any sort of comedy in the last, like, since the last mic drop, which was back in December, right?
Yeah.
And we're talking.
Wait, what? You mean 2 weeks ago?
What are you talking about?
I mean, last week we had a mic drop last week.
Before that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, all right. So I had not dedicated any sort of thought to like any comedy at all, and I was literally inside of Cultura, and I was like, "Fuck!" I wasn't gonna go up at all, and I was like, "You know what, dude? Fuck it. Fuck it. Give me the last slot, and
That's right. I remember that.
Yeah, I saw
give
you.
me the last slot, and I'll figure it out at that point."
That's a good slot to have, though. If you're gonna bomb, it's a good slot to have.
Yeah, because like
Pretty much,
let's
yeah.
end the night with a bomb.
I mean,
with
you
a
could
bang.
just leave afterwards. It's
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, you could just walk out,
not stay and
I had
watch
to
other people
cry
like,
in the parking
had
lot.
to fucking offer like qualifiers at the end, like, hey, all of this was fiction. This didn't happen.
I want to.
I want to know if people actually thought that this happened, because it didn't happen.
So a lot of people on here are asking for you to tell the joke, and before that, I just want to get my bomb out of the way so he can tell that joke.
Okay.
Because I really like it, talking about it. But so it's funny. It's funny that you mentioned the whole thing about going to Bella Luna and telling jokes while people are eating and shit. That is almost like the exact same experience that I had, like for my bomb, but it was at Joe's Craft House or Billy's.
Billy Joe's,
Crab
yeah.
Shack.
Billy Joe's Craft Shack. Crab Shack.
That was like-
Craft House. Craft House.
Oh, okay.
Billy Joe's
That was
Craft
on
House.
the island, right? Or
Port
something?
Aransas. It was
Yeah.
at Port A. And
Port A, dude.
it was also
was
one
a
of
great
my
place,
first
yeah.
one of my first shows, like one of my first showcases. Might have been like my fourth or my fifth or something like that. And I was like, yeah, cool. I'm gonna go over here, tell some jokes, whatever. And everybody like lauded this place. They fucking love this place because they're very good to comics, and that I had heard it was a really good room.
Yeah.
Did not have a good room that day. So we get there, and I remember we all sit down. It was me, Josh. I mean me, Aaron, Franny, and Kevin. Kevin Loredo was there. Kevin from Beans, Brews, and Buds, and
Bees and bees.
he was there because he was going to take pictures, right? Because he wanted to just tag along for the trip. And so we were there, and I remember like, dude, people when you go, there's something different about doing the joke while people are eating,
Yeah.
right? Because it's kind of obnoxious. It's like saying it's like imagine you're sitting down and enjoying like a nice meal with your family, and some asshole shows up with a mic and just starts telling jokes while in the middle of your fucking dining room. Like, I just feel like that's I don't know. It's a different context for comedy. It's kind of difficult.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that. Didn't have any sort of preparation for this before. I show up, and we're sitting down. We're like, hey, where's the crowd? Like, we were gonna start rolling in, and the host of that show, Joseph Contreras,
Yeah.
he was like, hey, just don't worry about it. Like, give it a bit. People will start coming in. All right, cool. People start coming in, but they're coming in. They're ordering food. They're not there for the comedy. They're coming in. They're ordering food, and all of a sudden they're sitting there, and like I literally saw like people when they're like eating. I saw Joseph go and like set the fucking PA up and like set up the mic, and then the I literally saw people in the crowd go like, here we fucking go. Right, like I saw people like oh geez, like here's what's gonna happen.
Like,
whatever.
oh god.
So it just I already knew that it wasn't gonna go well. On top of that, there was like somebody who started telling like dick jokes, and there was a lady there who was so appalled by the joke from the host. She got up and she's like, "Excuse me," and she called over like Billy Joe, right?
Yeah,
She called him over and she was like, "Hey, are you going to like address this? Like, I've got a kid with me or whatever." And Billy Joe, he was always ride or die for the comics, so he was like, "You don't like it, you can get the fuck out." Right?
He's like, "This is my bar."
Yeah. So she got up like super mad and like left or whatever. So it starts getting closer and closer to the time for my set, and the people that are coming in are getting like progressively older and progressively whiter.
Yes. Oh my God.
At a certain point, Roger was performing to a bunch of ghosts from the Confederacy.
It was kind of what it was like, dude. And I remember like the last person that entered before it was time for my set was this like super old lady, like super like white hair, like crazy white hair, not gray, just white. And she was being wheeled in on a wheelchair, dude. And I was just like, I don't have
Bitch
jokes.
was an oxygen.
I told myself, I don't have jokes for any of these fucking people, dude.
Yeah.
And
You
so
ever check your credit score and it's so high?
yeah, I got
Right.
y'all hate black people. Yeah, fuck yeah. That would have been some pandering for sure.
Jews, right?
Oh, this guy's amazing.
Freedom.
You ever just fucking nut and shoot somebody?
No, anyway, so we had that on there, and I was just telling like my set as I normally had, which I go back and I think about my set like in the first couple of months of me doing comedy, and I'm like, man, I was shit. Like, I think I was thinking, like,
oh my God, I can't believe I did that on stage.
And I'm sure in a couple of years I'll look back on the set I currently have and still be like, what the fuck was I talking about? But
Yeah.
anyway, so I get up there and dude, I'm not even kidding. The fucking the table that's directly in front of me is just packed like with like white oil rig dudes, like just. They're all like burly and they all have fucking overalls on with big ass beards and like trucker caps, and they're just like sitting there and they're staring at me and they're just
oil
like
field workers. Yeah.
they're just fucking.
Your complexion is light enough to capture my attention.
And I'm like sitting there and I'm trying to like kind of gather the nerve to tell some jokes like, hey guys, how's it going? Like, we have this place called Mommy Chulas in Laredo or whatever.
Yeah.
And
like, what the fuck?
And they were just like, where's my food? Like they started talking really fucking loud over me, and I have a fucking mic. They're like,
God.
somebody get me a drink and like some shit like that. And I'm just like, oh fuck, dude. And I lost control of the crowd quick. There was one dude that was staring at me, and
Staring at you, not watching you, staring
he's
at you.
staring at me. He's not watching. He's
That's
staring
a
at me.
distinction that needs
And I'm looking at him, and I'm like, oh, all right, let me pivot. Let me start looking at this guy. Try to crack him, right? Because that's the a way that I learned to like, oh yeah, you focus on one person.
Address the people that are.
Yeah, and so I started looking at this guy, and I'm just like, hey man, like, you know, y'all ever fucking, you know, get like shampoos or whatever? And he's just like staring at me. Fucking
I don't shower.
Just straight,
Showers for pansies.
just straight faced. And I get to the punchline of that joke, and I'm expecting like some people to laugh or whatever. This guy looks at me and like straight faced, just like. I was just like, fuck, dude. So I get off stage.
That's heartbreaking.
I get off stage.
That boy ain't right.
Yeah, 100%. I get off stage. I go and I sit down. I eat some chicken tendies, and I have a beer, and like
Cry.
And I went outside afterwards when one of the other comics goes up. I went out to have a cig, and I remember it was like rainy and cold that day too. So like I'm out there having a cig, and then this guy comes up from inside. He goes out there. He lights a cigarette too. He goes, "You do this comedy thing often?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man. Actually, I lined up a couple of shows, and I've been doing it for maybe about like a couple of months, like 8-9 months or whatever." And but yeah, I've been doing it for a bit. And he goes, "You shouldn't."
Gave him an application. Here.
Oh, damn.
He's like, "You should quit," or whatever, like some shit like that. And I was just like, "All right, man,
Just kill yourself. Kill yourself, bro.
I got in the car, and then not only that, dude, it was a twofer that night. We had two shows. We were doing Billy Joe's, and immediately afterwards, we were supposed to go and do Bella Luna. Right?
Oh,
so, dude, the fucking disheartening ass ride
Oh
all
God.
the way to Bella Luna,
And then you have to get
and then
yourself
you
to
have
do it again.
So I have to gather myself, and I'm thinking, is another fucking crowd of people just eating that I'm about to fuck their days up right now. and so, but I get up there, I do my set, and I do surprisingly well at Bella Luna. So it helped me kind of recover. I was still super upset, and we left. Oh, the time that we went together, that's the time that we fucking hit the deer. Remember?
That's right. Franny hit a deer.
Franny hit a deer on the road.
On the road. We
Yeah.
were driving back from Corpus.
We
We
were
just
driving-
done the exchange with Aaron. It was me, Roger, Francisco, and Aaron, and we were all in the car. And Franny was driving. We fucking hit a deer. Like a deer just like, well, a deer hit us. Really, is what happened. He ran right into the car.
Ran right in front of it.
Like just ran straight into the car and like, I don't know, galloped away or whatever. But like
I remember
it was fine. It was fine. It survived.
No, it didn't. Do you not remember this part?
No,
So we hit the deer.
Roger ate it the next day.
No. Shut the fuck up. We hit the deer.
Venison tamales.
We hit the deer, and then Franny went off to the side. Right. He gets out, and I remember just hearing, "It fucking broke my headlight." Right. And then so, I got out, and immediately lit a cigarette. Right. And I was just like, I turned
because the road trip was going great, terrifically already. Yeah.
I turn and I look down the road, and we were like, "Is it dead?" Right? And and then we just see a fucking truck hit it, and we're like, "Oh, it's dead now for sure."
Yeah.
It fucked it up.
You're
Like,
right.
Double
That's
tap.
yeah, good old double tap.
oh my god. Yeah, because but Franny was like
He was
fucking
pissed.
pissed. He was
He
like,
was
"Fuck
pissed.
that deer! I'm glad he got hit." Like, he was like, "Look what he did to my car."
Yeah, he was
He was
out.
mad.
Oh, the fuck that deer and the fucking rat or what? Never mind. Whatever.
No,
So I'm drunk, whatever.
he wasn't that bad. He wasn't that bad. Obviously, he wasn't.
So
I'm exaggerating, but yeah, no, it was that was.
It was a good time. I had a lot of good
It was a
roads,
crazy-
good
yeah.
stories from the road.
When you were road dogging.
Yeah, we haven't done like a big like trip in a while. Like now it's kind of like everybody books separately. I mean, at least for Aaron, Franny, and I, and definitely like the Laredo Funny crew. Like they definitely like kind of stick together on the stuff that they do.
Well,
but I feel like
we
I'm
try,
gonna-
but sometimes we get booked. At
yeah,
other
everybody
places and
gets
stuff,
gets kind of separated every now and then. But we haven't had like a good fucking road trip in a minute. I'm gonna be in Austin, I think in March. So probably gonna like hit something over there. But anyway, so to preface this, right, this next thing, and obviously you've heard it.
We need more road stories. That's what
We
I'm
can-
hearing.
we-
We need more road trips. together.
We can for sure, but to get to this one, so I've talked about it plenty of times on the podcast, but we just haven't like really said the joke because Josh has never like said the joke, but said he's going to now, right? So
Wait, which one?
Oh, the joke.
the joke.
From last week?
No, dude, no. 'cause
That's the
it-
one that Alex was talking about.
Oh, is he? Is that what he's talking about? So, well, either way, there's a joke. Josh has a record that no other comic at the mic drop has, and it's
Of being the absolutely most underrated comic.
no. It's
Absolutely.
the record that he holds at Cultura at the mic drop is the comic with the most complaints. So I've had people come up to me and they'll complain about some things. Usually it's like, we come over here, we hear some of the same jokes, or I didn't like the joke that this person said or whatever. But Josh has this tell both the baby feeding joke and the first BJ joke.
Oh,
I don't.
So-
I'm not gonna tell the baby feeding jokes. I actually want to like do it in real life,
Okay,
like,
well-
for real.
Okay, so like that joke, the baby feeding joke, the baby feeding joke that he's got, that premise has gotten the most complaints. And I remember specifically the time that it happened. We were doing an outdoor mic drop this time.
Wait, no. First of all, definitely not because I never ever done the baby feeding joke.
Oh
other
no,
than
you did.
upstairs.
You did
I
the
did
penis, the cat in
cat
7
dildos.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
cat
that one-
dildos.
So okay. So
Dude, the table that was in front of me laughed. 3 people laughed. That's good enough for me, man. Come on.
So
That was a heckler though. He was like, "I get it. You want to fuck your cat or some shit."
yeah,
It
yeah, I
was
remember
And
that.
that was fucking Mario and
I
shit.
remember that.
that was I think it was Mario's
100%,
friends. Yeah, that
yeah.
was like Mario's friends.
So when we were there, okay. So for this though, like for the baby feeding joke,
True.
I did get somebody like first it trickled in. It was just like 2 or 3 people like, dude, what are you fucking running here? Like, why do these people get to go and say these dumb shit, all this dumb shit on stage or whatever? And I'm like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about? And they, referenced a few of them. Some of them about someone saying the N word. The other one about like someone
Who
saying
said the N word, bro?
the F word. They might have been Parra. I don't know.
Of
But
course.
and then
Makes sense.
and then
Makes sense.
but the one that everybody zoned in on was the fucking baby feeding joke. So it got so bad that the next day they called a fucking like a meeting, which rarely happens with the people from Cultura, by the way. Like they'll be like, "Hey guys, great job, or whatever last night. Like, this is what could have gone better, or whatever." This time I was like, "Hey guys, we need to talk." And I was just like, "Oh shit!" So they brought us together, like me
It's
and
like going to the
Franny.
principal's office,
Yeah,
you know?
100%.
Like,
Yeah, that's what it felt like. So we go and we get together, and then this guy's the owners for Cultura were like, "We got a lot of complaints last night. Something about a joke about a baby." And I was like, oh, fuck. I was like, I know exactly what you're talking about. It was the first time that he did it too, and so
I think I'll be honest. I've done that joke probably 3 or 4 times.
you need to tell it because that's now like
I'll tell it. I'm gonna tell
I
it.
said
I'll
it
tell
the
it.
concept.
I'll fucking tell it.
So
All right,
the
all right.
concept.
but tell it right, because if you don't tell it right, I'm going to ask you to never tell that joke again.
I will tell this joke
Let's do it right, though.
when I feel. It's just okay. So here's the thing.
I'm kidding. I'm
Like,
kidding. I'm fucking
and
with
this,
you.
and before I get into it, the whole thing about any of the jokes that I do is that they're just like nebulous concepts that never get put into like a fixed
No,
position,
it's like,
you know what I mean?
it's just stupid random thoughts,
And
like
then
a random premise kind of thing.
It has to be like in the moment, right? So the entire joke, it starts with this, right? So, oh yeah, dude, I work like I work at a dumbass call center, and the stupidest people fucking work at call centers, and it's funny because I like to fuck with them. Like the other day, there was these 2 chicks that were talking about breastfeeding in public, and one of them was like, dude, I had my titty out and I was feeding my child, and this guy was just staring at me, and I felt so violated. And then that's when I came into them to kind of just fuck with them, and I was like, take that shit home. First of all, don't nobody want to see your ugly ass titties out in public, right? And so, boom, pause for laughter, maybe not. You see that?
He writes in applause break.
Applause break. Nobody want to see your fucking saggy titties.
Standing ovation. That's it.
And then they look at me and they're like, wow, dude, for real? And I'm like, yeah, okay, look, let's fucking think about it like this, right? What if guys had to carry the child and then birth them, and then subsequently thereafter, we were the ones that had to feed these children, right? Like, what if now I'm out in public, right, and it's feeding time for my child. So, and the way that we feed them is not with our breasts, because we obviously don't have mammary glands, but gotta feed them with our dicks, right? So there I am, minding my own fucking business, trying to feed my child.
That's the thing that he does. That's the one where it catches it. Where people he does the fucking motion. Like,
It's the motion. I think it's way worse when you're pantomiming it. You're like, I've got a baby to feed. It's like, whoa.
And they're like, ma'am,
Whoa. I think the pantomime makes it worse.
100%.
excuse me, ma'am. Boom, laughter.
Laughter. You got it, dude. You got
See
it.
what I
got
mean?
that guy cracking up. Yeah.
Excuse me, ma'am. I'm trying to feed my child here.
Yeah.
You keep your eyes to yourself, please.
Okay.
And the joke itself is actually
See, you
about,
told it better this time, though, I
because
think.
the premise is important. People forget like the actual premise is just highlighting how dumb some people can be.
Yeah, I think that the mental image that you put in people's heads doing that, though, is probably what triggers most.
Tell me
I
how
think
that one was worse, or was that one worse than my last one? And if so, how?
Which was your last?
So
Are we
the
doing
last-
open mic night now?
Right.
This is open mic.
This is my set.
We're shopping.
We're doing
I'm
live.
gonna shop premises.
Open
Right? So
mic.
on my last set, I was like, all right, hey, whatever, we're having a good fucking time, right? Y'all look sexy. Can I get a sheesh in the background? Right? And then I was like, so, like, why don't we talk about like formative experiences? And I was trying to incorporate like crowd work in here. And I was like,
Yeah.
ma'am, what's like one of, significant thing that happened to you in your teens? This is the lady's reaction. I knew who she was, so I was expecting like an answer, like fairly quick, right? Maybe. And she was like, and I was like, well, fuck you. You took too long. So we're going to talk about the first time I got a blowjob. And then, all right, dude, boom. All right. We're already on fucking high waters. And so I paint the fucking picture. And I'm like, you know, so it was right after Bible study. I was sitting in the back pew, reading my Jesus pamphlet, minding my own fucking business. And that was the first time a priest ever sucked my dick. But he told me, it was like, this is how we cure your ancestral traumas. And I so like, it's just kind of like something. That's loosely how the fucking joke works. But, you know,
I like that. I think that's
funny. That's what I told.
That's funny.
Nobody laughed. Everybody was like, nobody laughed. And then I acknowledged how nobody was laughing. I told it like almost word per word to what I just said.
He alienated the crowd at the very beginning. It was an awkward crowd that night too.
It was an awkward crowd that night, to be honest.
I sucked.
These last
no, but that was a good joke. I liked it.
These last couple mics that we've had, the mics have been rough. Like the crowds have been a little rough, but they make you work for it, which is I appreciate too.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
Boom. Everyone is out here loving these jokes. They're coming back into the lineup.
One person.
Everyone is out here loving these jokes. All 1 million subscribers.
Manifest that shit, queen.
I don't know, man. I don't think I've had like a fucking a joke that has like done like really, really poorly. Recently, I know. The one that used to kind of like bug the shit out of people. Oh, you know what? My COVID joke almost cost me an entire set. I had a COVID joke that I tell about my mom.
Oh shit!
And
which was really funny.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I told it at Georgetown. I was at Barrels and Amps, and huge fucking crowd. It was packed.
Yeah.
And there were people there that had like they had masks on, but they had like Trump masks on. Georgetown is exactly the kind of place where like you went in I don't know, this was maybe it's maybe been about a year. I went in December of not last year but the year before last. So the election had already happened, and these were the exact kind of people that didn't know the election was done, right? They were there. So the guy goes up there, like does a whole set or whatever. He gets off and he comes up to me and he goes, hey man, have you ever performed for a Red Room before? And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck that means. And he goes, oh, it's red, like it's and conservative. I'm like, oh no. And he goes, oh, okay. Well, just avoid the politics. I was like, all right, cool. I went up there and I told a COVID joke. And maybe not the best room to do that for. But when the punchline of that joke is about my mom having like caught COVID and nearly like died. So it's obviously a very personal joke, but I make light of it towards the end because like I talk about her sounding like Darth Vader and shit on the ventilator and whatever. And dude, people just like, they stayed there and they like looked at me and I was just like, oh, y'all don't believe in COVID here, right? And then they were just like, oh, and I was just like, all right, chill the fuck out. I'll chill out. I'll reel it back. Don't.
Should have just been like, oh, y'all don't believe in the Kung Flu, right? And then they would have clapped.
Yeah, probably
100%.
Yeah, no, it's crazy to me because I've done rooms before where they'll tell you, like, they'll give you a warning, like, hey, no political stuff. No political stuff.
Who this? The hosts?
Like the venue owners or whatever.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I did a show one time in Canyon Lake, and
interesting place, by the way.
Yeah, they had just finished a voting for Trump rally.
Nice.
So everyone that was gonna, because they're all out on the lake and they were, whatever. So everyone's all riled up from the Trump rally, and then like one of the only bars in town was doing a comedy show that night, and so I was. Yeah, no, it was a little crazy because I show up and the owner comes up to us and he was like, don't do any political.
Don't talk about tiki torches, okay?
Yeah, like don't do any political humor. The audience is really riled up from the Trump thing. Like we don't want any problems and everything. And I was like, oh shit, because I had just written a joke about it's not even like right or left, but it was just wanting a president that's like a teacher in an urban high school movie, kind of thing. Like it was like comparison. So I had to drop that joke, and it was in my set, so I had to drop that joke from my set. But I remember he told us that, and Aaron Cheatham was there. I don't know if you remember Cheatham. And Cheatham was like, no, dude, I was gonna do my whole set, taking a knee and shit, like just like like. And he cracked that joke, and we all kind of like calmed down. But like there was some tension as to like how our sets were gonna go because of that, and things like that. So it's like it's crazy. It's it's crazy scary sometimes. You never know what kind of audience you're gonna get and what kind of humor that they're gonna react to or how they're gonna react. That kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think definitely like politically charged crowds, like they're weird. I think.
Yeah.
I think I closed that show at Georgetown with a political joke just because I felt like I wanted to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And it went well actually because it wasn't really too much of like a left or right thing like you said.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's fun. I really enjoyed talking bombs. I enjoy good job, dude. I think the way you delivered it this time was good.
Yeah, you did good.
That's literally how I did it.
Well,
all the times.
So you're getting better though. But no, it was good. It's good stuff, dude.
Now I can't use them anymore.
Totally can. So we've got what, like 15 minutes?
Yeah, we got about 15.
Oh, wow.
So I want to talk a little bit. Yeah, I know it was a little short, but we had to start. We only have this place until like a certain time.
Yeah.
But I did want to go back to like the shows. What? Also specifically like the influence of like you're part of a group of comics, right? Laredo Funny. Do you guys have like obviously like a big influence on like the local scene, whether that's live shows, that kind of stuff?
Real quick, shout out to Laredo Funny. Today is our 6-year anniversary.
Oh, really dope. You usually have like a birthday party thing, don't you?
Yeah. Normally we have a big show and a cake and everything, but I think tonight we're just going to do
We're gonna
cold
get trashed
brew
to cold brew.
Yeah,
right.
For the open mic. But yeah, 6 years running for Laredo
Nice,
Funny
dude.
today.
Congrats.
Thank
Yeah, I do think so we've always had like conversations a bit about like what the what was that? We definitely have had like a little bit of like conversations about like the influence towards like the local scene and kind of how we've seen it, like especially over these last times, like fall and then recover and then fall and then recover because of COVID. But what talk to me a little bit about like what it's been to be a part of the group, man. Like I know, excuse me. I know I've been planning on having more of you guys on because I know you've got who's all part of the Laredo Funny right now. Still, it's just it's George Alvarez, Steve, you, then you've got Esteban, Albert.
Yeah. Well, Albert's on sabbatical.
Oh, okay, cool.
He's got stuff he's got to take care of. So Albert,
got a girlfriend.
He's got a girlfriend now too. And he's been busy working and stuff, so he hasn't been able to come to a lot of mics. But Josh just recently moved to Austin.
Yeah.
So right now in Laredo Funny, it's me, Steve, George, Nando, and Esteban
Cool.
for Laredo Funny. So it's just us 5.
Damn, dude, I feel like it's really thinned out. Like then it used to be at one point you guys had like 12 comics or some shit, didn't you?
I want to say like 8.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but Patrick got married and pretty much just got off the face of the earth.
I haven't heard in a while, yeah.
Yeah, Joe Alex,
R.I.P.
God rest his soul. Yeah, he passed away at the beginning of the pandemic. But yeah, and Josh, though he got his dream job working in Austin. So yeah, so the lineup is thinned out a little bit, but I'm really glad to see that there's so much more comedians coming out now out of the woodwork in the last few years and stuff. So much more comics, so much more potential. The diversity as well. We've got Ivan who does Spanish sets.
Right.
We're getting. Hopefully more female comics. Hey, female comics, we were looking for you, okay? We're looking for you, female comics, if you want to come out. We need more of y'all. But yeah, it's just everything, dude. That we've grown so much as a scene, and I love it. I love to see where Laredo comedy is going.
Yeah, absolutely. I do think it's been fun seeing people come out of the woodwork. I do think personally, like I do think like Ivan has probably been like my favorite like addition to like the scene, and he's been doing a bunch of stuff. So it's been it's interesting to see, like especially like you said, like a Spanish set. I only recently found out, and this is maybe like a totally uncovered like area, but Spanish shows happen here very often. Just like in small bars that we don't really like frequent or know about.
Yeah.
So I did not know that. But yeah, like it's interesting to see like the scene evolve and change all that much. Tell me like what do you guys kind of have planned? Like, you've got a couple shows. I'm gonna be on a show next week, right? You've got a show next week at Cigar Lounge. Yeah.
Yes, I can't wait. So we're gonna have you come by, and we're bringing down Javi Luna here February 18th. It's going to be a free show. I'm going to be featuring. We're going to have you on it as well, and Esteban, and it's going to be a really, really great show. Javi Luna is hilarious from Corpus.
Yeah, I've been on a couple shows with him, actually.
I caught him a couple times at the rooftop.
I was with him at Romo Room like last year.
Oh yeah. No, real funny guy. A great comedian. We're going to have you on that February 18th at Charlie Cigar Lounge. So
Also a really funny guy. Great comedian.
Real funny dude.
Yeah. But yeah, other stuff that I have going on, it's I have more stuff going on in March, if anything. But I know that this Saturday I'm going to be in Temple, Texas.
Nice.
At Corky's. I'm going to be featuring for Jacob James Garcia. He's an international touring comedian.
Yeah, I've been on a show with him too.
One of my favorite dudes in the whole world, He's really, really cool, really chill, really funny.
Super funny
person. So yeah, I'm going to be on that with Fred and Steve this weekend. But we'll see what happens in March. I know in March we're going to have another locals show. It's going to be all locals, all Laredo comics, know. It's gonna be at Bar 360, and that one's can't wait for that one too. That's gonna be in March.
Where's that? I haven't even seen.
It's
relatively new or no? Yeah, right.
I guess it's relatively new, but it's in the same plaza as where Whispers and all that is.
Yeah. Okay,
so
got it.
it's in the north side. It's off of Del Mar, and so that's gonna be really, really fun. That's gonna be a really great show.
Dope. Yeah, I like the addition of different venues too. I feel like a lot of the stuff gets really localized downtown, but it's nice to see it branch out into other areas.
Yeah, because there's some people that I love downtown, so for me it's not a bother, But some people are like, oh, parking downtown or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Like you just park and walk, bro. It's like 2 different streets that all have all the fucking bars. Like, goddamn.
Yeah, no, I know, but it's good to introduce
they got
it
rid
to
of the scooters.
They pawned all the scooters in Mexico. That's why.
I fucking took my first scooter in San Antonio, actually.
Okay.
That was pretty cool.
Thanks, dude.
I was lost as fuck downtown.
You're saying?
But no, yeah, just exposing comedy to different sides of Laredo, because sometimes there's some people that just never leave their little corner of town,
Yeah.
And so just exposing comedy to different, downtown, north side, just wherever we can spread the word of comedy here in Laredo.
What's the next show that you're like really excited about?
Pretty much all of them.
Fair, yeah. You don't want to choose a favorite. I was just kind of putting you on the spot there.
Well, I mean, I'm very excited for this Saturday. I'll be featuring out of town.
Yeah.
In Temple, Texas. I've heard great things about that venue, and I get to work with some of my favorite comics. It's gonna be really, really fun. But yeah, I guess for now that's right now I'm still waiting on word for more Chingona shows.
Right.
And so once those come out, I'll be announcing them on my Facebook page.
Plug it. You want to do the socials?
Sarah Garza Comedy on Facebook and Instagram. Sarah Garza Comedy. That's my official comedy page on Facebook. And so I'll be announcing my upcoming dates for March and any future info you can find on there. So follow me.
Right on. Well, are we doing a little rappy rap?
Oh, let's rap, dude.
It's wrapping it up.
So, hey, so also just, again, thanks to our guests for being on, Miss Sarah Garza. I really appreciate it. Hey, any of y'all watching, if y'all want to come out and, like, catch some shows or catch some funnies, tonight there is going to be an open mic at Cold Brew.
Yep.
It starts at 10:30-ish. Come out. It starts whenever you get there. So get there. Let's have a couple drinks. I will be there. Josh is going to be there. A few of the other comics are going to be there. So we're all going to be kicking it there. So come by, say hello. And this happens every week. They've got open mics that happen on Monday at Classic Tavern and Wednesday at Cold Brew.
Yeah. Yes.
Do you have any other mics that are that not at the moment?
Not yet. Not at the moment.
We were at a point where we had a fucking mic every night.
Yeah.
There's going to be a mic at Los Olvidados on Friday.
Yeah, on Friday there's a Forgotten Ones at Los Olvidados.
Yes.
Next
Love that
week, March. No, what's next week? February 17th.
Yeah.
February 17th, we're gonna have another iteration of another episode or another session. I don't know what's the fucking
Another mic drop.
We're gonna have another
All
mic
right?
drop. Another
Fucking
open
calm,
mic.
dude.
Yeah, we're gonna have another mic drop next week.
Come and hear the best comic in Laredo, aka me, Bob, JK.
Okay, so this Thursday, tomorrow at Rooftop, I'll be featuring for Chris Breckel and we'll have an opener, Anthony Chavarria, tomorrow at the Rooftop. That's Aaron Suarez's show from Laugh Laredo. So go and check that out. That'll be tomorrow, Thursday at Rooftop. So go and check that out. I don't have anything else to plug.
No, man, that's it. Patreon.com/AOTBcast. Become a patron now and get your hands on all this cool stuff that exists out there. Huge shout out to our first patron, Black Lung Ernie.
Pew, 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 pew.
Yeah, dude. Air horns, all that cool stuff. Go to Instagram. Our link tree's on there, and that's where you'll find anything and everything that is related to this podcast. We're hitting you guys really fucking hard with a lot of content right in your fucking kisser, and you're gonna love it.
Pow.
And there was one other thing. Oh yeah, dude, 4DF.
March 4th.
March 4th, Cryptids on the Border featuring Angel of Cryptid Border. It's gonna be a really, really good one.
We've been stewing on this one for fucking 2 months now.
Yeah, man. And we're gonna do a fucking couple of promo. Well, I'm not gonna say promos, but we'll have some very good episodes on the weeks leading up to that 4DF. So stay tuned in, dude.
And that wraps up this episode. Thanks very much for tuning in. Love you. Shout out to ADTV, our producers, our director, Andrew. And you'll see more info. And as always, thank you, Miss Sarah Garza, for sitting in on this one. See y'all at Cold Brew. Love you.
Besitos.
Besitos.
Hasta luego, bro, chacho.
The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found.
Faster than light, spaceship of the future.
By direction of the President of the United States, stay in your home.
Is it human or inhuman? Earthly or unearthly?
Born in that swirling inferno of radioactive dust, there is no word to describe them.
We may be witnesses to a biblical prophecy come true.
Why is it that we usually ignore the fourth dimension?
Is this the human race of the future?